All right, welcome everybody. Happy Sunday. It is 5:31, so we're gonna get started. My name is Carly, the CEO and founder of Team Root to Rise. If you guys don't know who I am, and then I co-host these calls with Cassie every other Sunday. So it's always the first Sunday of the month and the third Sunday of the month. They will be recorded and we'll share them in the team page, but it's always best to get on live so you can ask questions because we'll open up for question and answer at the end. And before we dive into our topics today, I'm just going to go over a little bit of recognition. Cassie, do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I can do it. I got it open.
Do you have it
well,
open?
Actually, no, you do it because you do it because I don't have it open. Sorry.
I'm going to share my screen. We'll do some announcements and recognition, and then we'll dive right into the stuff. So what we kind of created or what we were brainstorming about this week is just sharing like 10 tips business-wise and then like social media-wise that you can really grasp like immediately and just like pump into your business, especially like in a month like December. Like buckle up, guys, because yes, it is a busy season. Yes, there are a ton of excuses that you can have to not work your business, but I guarantee that there's always going to be somebody busier than you who is always going to be able to become more successful than you just because they have their priorities and their time management in order. So we wanted you guys to be able to have like these 10 things that you could pick and choose from and really just apply to your business immediately. So they'll kind of be like all over their board, but there'll be things that like have definitely worked for us that we want to share. So you guys can just kind of like take what you want and leave the rest. But first and foremost, let me share my screen. It wouldn't let me download this PDF, so I have it open here. I think because Cassie and I like create them together. But anyway, so we'll start from the top here. Our life changers. So we did, we're recognizing from the end of November. So these are all like the last updated points. If you guys aren't updating the life changers file in our team pages, it is really, really difficult for me to go track you down in my back office. So just can I kindly ask you guys all to update that if you want me to recognize you guys, because it's really hard for me to go through. I have 140 personally sponsored coaches and there's over 500 people on Team Root to Rise. So for me to go through my back office and try to track down your SC points is exhausting. So if you guys can update that document, and as you update your points, make sure that you're just updating your name, not adding your name again higher on the list. And then again, editing it accordingly so there's no spaces or anything. I'm a little OCD about that kind of stuff. But top of the list for life changers, I ended the month at SC 52, Cassie ended the month at SC 26, and Leanna Swords, SC 24, Gina Funaro, SC 18, Rachel Trent, SC 16, Victoria Phillips, SC 16, Desta McAdam, SC 14. She's a brand new coach, so way to go, girl. Noelle Stockstead, SC 12, Apollonia, Apples, I don't even put your last name on here because I'm like, we know who Apples is, SC 12, Cassidy Miller, SC 10, Jordan Bowman, SC 10, Megan Lesby, SC 10, Laura Hall, SC 10, Angela Maish, SC 10, and Tegan Coley. She's another brand new coach, SC 10. So way to freaking go, guys. If you see a friend's name on that board, make sure you shout them out in the chat because that's amazing. All of those girls have committed to helping 5 or more people every single month. So those are the top coaches on the entire team. Of course, these coaches on the right-hand side hit their non-negotiables as well because it's always SC 6 or above. SC 6 is always the minimum, helping 3 people a month. So if you're anywhere on this board, way to go. I just don't want to waste the whole team call talking through everybody's names. So way to go, everybody. You guys are killing it. As for team builders, freaking amazing. 106 new members in the last 30 days. So you guys are empowering other people to help other people. This is how we make an impact. Obviously, I could not help this many people if it was just me by myself walking to a gym as a personal trainer or walking into a yoga studio as a yoga teacher. So it's so cool for me to see you guys leading from the front, empowering others, adding other people into this community, whether they're discount coaches or working coaches. I'm just so proud of these numbers. They're freaking amazing. So top of the list, Carly Lindor, 16 new coaches, Leanna Swords, 8 new coaches, Cassie Viltz, 8 new coaches, Apples, 6 new coaches, Jordan Bowman, 5 new coaches, Rachel Trent, 5 new coaches, and I'm not going to read all the way down the list, but those are kind of the top 6-ish. Way to freaking go. Rank advancers, we have a ton within the last 2 weeks since I recognized you guys last, so way to go. Cassie wanted to shout out her month 1 success starters. So success starters, if you guys don't know, if you're a new coach and you hit SC 6 or above the first 3 months you become a coach, or the first 3 months after the initial month that you sign up as a coach, you're called what we call a success starter if you hit Success Club those 3 continuous months. If you hit it for 3 months in a row, you get a free ticket to our annual coaching event that's Summit. It's like a $150 ticket. You'll get that for free. So that's pretty amazing. So way to go, you 3, starting the month off strong. I have some as well. I haven't recognized you guys yet, so sorry, I suck. Tegan, she's one of our new Emerald coaches. Way to freaking go, girl. We have Doretha, I think.
Yeah, it's Doretha.
Okay, I wanted to say Doretha, and then I was like, I don't know. Rachel Trent and Holly Holmquist. Way to go, guys. Vlada, Emerald Coach, way to go. Gina Squio, I think, Emerald Coach, awesome job, girl. We have Cami, way to freaking go. Courtney, awesome job. Let's see. Amanda, new Emerald Coach, way to go. So many freaking Emeralds, it's amazing. And then also I have to shout out Victoria Phillips. She started 1 Star Diamond qualifying 2 weeks ago, and so she's now into week 3, I believe. This is huge, you guys. Major shout out to her Emerald coaches here because it could not be done without them. But that's like a huge, huge accomplishment. She's I think the fastest growing coach on my entire team, and she hit this milestone faster than anybody that I've ever seen. So literally insane. Way to go. You're absolutely killing it. Leanna just finished her 6-week qualification, so she is a lifetime 1 Star Diamond coach, no longer in qualifications. Freaking badass, the first coach in my entire organization to ever hit this milestone. Absolutely insane, so way to go, girl. When you guys hit a Star Diamond rank, you actually have to hold it for a 6-week period. So you can't just like hit and then be like, okay, see you, like I'm not gonna worry about it anymore. Like you actually have to hold it. You have to work with your team. You have to make sure that they hold it throughout those 6 weeks. So for her to get through these 6 weeks is freaking amazing. Shout out to all of the Emeralds on Team Wholehearted and Leanna for leading from the front, because that is insane. Way to go. Okay. Things to remember, guys. So Transform 20 obviously launches on December 4th, which is this Tuesday. And Shanti's on the National Wake Up Call tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So make sure that you listen to that. He's amazing. You guys will probably laugh so hard because just his energy is insane. And then it's going to be $20 off all Transform 20 challenge packs in December. So make sure that you really, market that and pump that up for your clients. There will be a team-wide coach and customer Transform 20 groups. And they'll open probably on Tuesday. I'm guessing Cassie's running one with her downline. I'm going to be running a Transform 20 group with my downline. Guys, these big groups are so fun because like the Lift 4 group, it was insane. There was like hundreds of people in that group. It's like a challenge group off the chain, like on Energize 24/7. Like there's so many people posting. There's so many people getting amazing results. Everybody's on the same day together. It's so fun. So make sure that you get your Transform 20 challenge pack on Tuesday. And then you'll be able to be added into the group. And Shanti actually made a prep calendar for us that has some Transform 20 prep workouts in it that you will receive once you purchase your challenge pack. And we'll all be working through that in December together. So coaches, customers, your own customers, everybody can be added into this group. It's super, super fun. And then also all coaches will also have access to Shanti's exclusive coach test group. So Shanti himself will actually run a Facebook group, which is so cool. You guys will get like live videos from him every single day. Being in the test group, it was so fun. He's hilarious. But anybody who is a coach currently and purchases a Transform 20 challenge pack will get a link to that Facebook group run by Shanti. And also all of your clients who sign up as coaches will also get access to that group. So that's an awesome marketing technique to be like, hey, like you should probably sign up for, the coach version or the VIP member so you can get access to, Shanti's exclusive coach test group. Another thing that's launching on December 4th is Beachbody Energize Sticks, which is exciting. And then December 11th, those free Transform 20 sample workouts that I talked about and the 2 bonus prep workouts will be available with the purchase. So they'll upload onto Beachbody On Demand and be accessible to anybody who purchased the challenge pack on December 11th. Again, that's just a week from this Tuesday. And that's it. This is a little team call graphic. I don't need to spend too much time on that. And I did have like a ton of questions from people asking like, you know, oh, like, should I get this step or should I buy the step off of Amazon? Like the Beachbody step is $50. That's so expensive. It's not that expensive, first of all. Second of all, you guys need to have that step as coaches. Like it is literally a big marketing banner to have that step to be working out off of that lime green and black awesome Beachbody logoed Transform 20 step. So by all means, if you want to go to Amazon and buy the $35 step instead of the $50 step through Beachbody, that's fine. But remember, like, it's a marketing tool for you guys. It is something that when people are looking at your stories and they're seeing that lime green Transform 20 step, they're like, damn, like I want that. And so it's a huge marketing tool for you. Think about it. It's like literally a billboard. So obviously there's options to get the challenge packs without the step. If I were you, and I think the smartest thing to do would be to invest in that step and create that FOMO for your clients who are thinking about joining you and showing them that you are at the forefront. And even though the workouts obviously don't upload to BOD until the middle of January, I don't want you guys to freak out and be like, oh my gosh, I need to get all my coaches on board, ready to go on Tuesday, December 4th. That's in 2 days. I feel so stressed out. What am I going to do? I haven't even started a marketing plan. Like, December is a month for you guys to commit to Transform 20, to buy the challenge pack and then blow it out of the water all month long marketing it, right? Like doing those prep workouts, showing the step on your Instagram stories, being that leader this month and leading by example so that come January when people are needing a routine, they've seen you crush it with this program, right? So this is kind of an in-between state. It's not like a one or done thing when like Transform 20 launches on Tuesday and you only have like 2 customers that buy it. That doesn't mean that you suck. That just means that like you haven't even gotten it yet. So take this month, take these next couple weeks to unbox it, to unfold it, get used to it, and share that. This is literally a marketing month for you to get your clients stoked on it. So that took a lot longer than I thought, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys didn't feel like, oh my gosh, Tuesday's Transform 20, I need to get everybody on board right now. I feel so behind, because like I felt like that for a second, but then I was like, oh my gosh, like the workouts don't even upload to BOD. Like the official challenge group doesn't even start till the middle of January. So it's okay. Just make sure you get your challenge pack, you get your step, and you start marketing the heck out of it, right? Because we lead by example. Okay. I'm going to let Cassie take it over, and she's going to start off this training for you guys.
Hey guys, what's up? You can hear me, right? Cool. Okay, I'm going to share. Wait, no, I don't need to share my screen. I normally make slides, but I'm renovating my house this week, so I didn't get slides. But I do have tips, so we're going to take notes. So Carly's going to focus on social media because that's her like freaking thing that she's amazing at. I'm going to talk to you guys about recruiting to the business and attracting more business builders, which is something I think that everybody always wants to learn more about. So take notes, okay? So tip number 1 that I have for you guys, speaking of notes, where are my notes? Okay, tip number 1. So there's 4 things I want you to write down right now. If you're struggling to recruit, you are likely missing one of these 4 things. Super simple. 1, you don't believe in the coaching opportunity. 2, you don't believe in yourself. 3, you don't know who you want to attract. Or 4, you don't take the right amount of action, okay? So there's 4 reasons, and if you kind of look at like where you're struggling with coaching, it's pretty much always one of these 4. So number 1, you don't believe in the coaching opportunity. That's like, you guys have, that's something where you have to do that yourself. Okay, Carly and I cannot make you believe in this. All we can do is show you what we're doing, and all we can do is follow what our upline did, okay? So if you don't believe in the coaching opportunity, that's up to you to figure out how to get yourself to believe in it. But you have to ask yourself, do I actually believe that people are making really great money doing this? Do I actually believe that people are retiring and they're, going on dream vacations, that they're paying off all this debt? And you can see evidence. Carly's done it. I've done it. Lots of people have done it, but there's a big difference between seeing somebody do it and actually like believing it in your heart. Okay. So that's the first one. Second one is you don't believe in yourself, which again, we can't instill you with belief. That is something you have to work on. And I started this business. Carly started the ground running, hit the ground running with this. I was the coach who didn't believe in myself at all. Okay, so I totally have been there, but it's not an excuse. You do not get to sit there. I'm gonna get tough love for a second. You do not get to sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm not good at recruiting because I don't believe in myself. Go figure out how to believe in yourself. Do your personal development, because that's the only way you're going to get there. I had to do a shit ton before I finally figured out how to believe in myself. So that's 2. 3, you don't know who you want to attract. So this is the action item that I'm going to give you guys. If you have not created an avatar, you have to create an avatar. And Carly might kind of talk about this. I'm not sure what she has planned, honestly, but I know we've done calls on it, but this is something that's fluid. So I actually have on my to-do list this week, create a new avatar, because my life has done a total 180 in the past 3-4 months. And I am not at all trying to attract the person I was 4 months ago, because I'm not in that spot. I'm moving. I'm 30 weeks pregnant. I'm about to have a kid. I'm renovating a home. I'm going through the married life. I'm decorating a nursery. Like, the person I was attracting 6 months or a year ago is just not the same person. So that's your action item number 1 tonight, is if you do not have your avatar written out, just go to YouTube. I'm not going to go over how to create an avatar. Just go to YouTube and type in how, Beachbody avatar or creating my avatar. Guys, there's tons of training, but you need to know who you're talking to. It is also important when you create your avatar that you're painfully specific, because otherwise you're going to be incredibly vanilla and boring. And this is something I struggle with because I am a people pleaser and I've cared what everybody thought my whole life. And so one day, I had to come to terms with the fact that I kind of wasn't attracting anybody because I was just like blah. So don't be afraid to be yourself. And when you're creating your avatar, if you haven't done that yet, just be yourself, guys. If you drop the F-bomb like it owes you money, then freaking own that shit, okay? Because I do. If you're somebody who lives in the country and you're kind of a redneck, own that shit. I didn't own that for a while, but I am deep down, that's who I am, okay? If you're somebody who is not plant-based at all, like I'm not plant-based. So for a long time, I avoided talking about how I was a hunter because I was so afraid to offend those followers I had that were, plant-based, vegan. And finally I was like, if they don't like me because I hunt, they're not my person. But it's so funny because there's Carly and she's like, the opposite of me in every way. And we get along because she's still my tribe. So don't be afraid to be yourself when you're doing that, okay? And then number 4, and this one's probably also one of the biggest, is you don't take enough action. So maybe you are doing the things you believe in yourself, you believe in Beachbody, and you are talking to your girl. But if you don't have the 4th component and you aren't taking enough action, then of course you're not going to recruit. So I'm talking to the girls, and I'm going to call you out right now, who are like, and unless you're a brand new coach, if you're a brand new coach, it's different. But if you've been coaching a month or, I would say like 2 months or longer, and you're like, yeah, I have 2 girls in my sneak peek, or I have, I'm talking to 2 different girls about coaching, or I just recruited 2 girls and I'm going to help them hit emerald and then I'm going to be diamond. That is not the way this works. If Carly and I were to rely on 2 people to help us hit diamond or star diamond or, 3-star diamond, it would never happen because you have to watch what people do, not what they say. So you might not be working hard enough. You need more than 2 people in your coaching sneak peeks, especially if you're only running a couple a month. Like I run mine weekly, but if you're only running, let's say 1 or 2 sneak peeks a month, and you only have 3, maybe 4 prospects in there, you might the entire month only really talk to 8 people about coaching seriously. And if you talk to 8 people about coaching seriously, you might have 1 or 2 sign up. So do you guys see how that can and it's not a matter of doing anything other than having more conversations and inviting more. Okay. So that's number 1. Tip number 2, am I going too fast or am I good? You guys getting this? I'm not. Hold on, let me drink some water. It's recorded, so if you need to go back, I'm sorry. I normally have slides. But number 2, have the confidence not to go for the low-hanging fruit, okay? And this is my own personal struggle that I actually want to share with you guys. So about 3 months ago, I came to the conclusion that I was struggling with recruiting. I've always recruited at least a new diamond every month, which a new diamond means you're recruiting at least 8 coaches a month. I've always done that easily, but I was like, you know what? Well, not always easily, but I was doing that easily for a while, but I was like, I am really struggling to attract women who want to work. I can get coaches in the door, but they are lazy. Like, I'm sorry, they're not on this call, so I can just call it like it is because they quit almost immediately, right? And we've all attracted those people. And so what I had to learn for myself was you don't have to go for the low-hanging fruit. You don't have to go for the coaches that deep down aren't going to do this anyway. And I found myself doing that all the time. So my action item for you is to identify if you're doing that. For example, I would be like, okay, I'm going to go ask this girl about coaching because it doesn't scare me. I'm not intimidated by her. You know, she's probably never been asked before. She's an easy person to recruit. Like, I didn't even know I was doing this, by the way. This was all subconscious. If you would have asked me if I was recruiting the low-hanging fruit or the people who were easy to recruit, I'd have been like, no. But I was. And so what my mindset switch was, I don't have to recruit those people. I don't want to recruit those people. And in fact, I will go out of my way to avoid recruiting those people. I will talk about how hard this is on my social media, in my Instagram stories. I will be very blunt about the work that I put in, and I will repel, just like a battery. You have to kind of repel to also attract. I want to repel the lazy people, the people who expect this to be simple, and I want to attract the hardworking, ambitious women that I truly want. And if that means I recruit 2 coaches less who weren't going to do anything anyway, fine, because I don't necessarily need them in my team or on my culture or in my team culture. So stop settling. Stop thinking you're not worthy of a really badass coach on your team, because you are, okay? So that's tip number 2, which I guess my action item for that, I know Carly said actionable things, but the action item is just really assess yourself, really ask yourself, like, am I going for the women I want in my tribe, or am I just settling for, you know, really anybody? Tip number 3, ask yourself, here's going to be like another tough love moment. I really want you to ask yourself and be honest with yourself. If I were a go-getter, hardworking woman who wanted true business results and financial freedom, would I join me? Okay? So if you were out there and you were like the most driven woman and you wanted to start a business and you were like, I want to be in the Millionaire Club, 6-figure earner, there are women out there, guys. Are they going to pick you as their mentor or somebody else? That's what you need to ask yourself. Because, and I think Carly made a post about this week, but I know when I joined with Jamie, I literally chose Jamie out of the sea of coaches I was following, because I knew immediately when I looked at her Instagram that, like, she took her shit seriously, that this was her business and she was very confident. And I knew if I want to be a millionaire, I'm going to listen to her. Like, I literally thought that, guys. There are women out there who are going to think that, who are going to be like, I want to be successful. I want to own a business. I want financial freedom. Are they going to sign up with you or another coach? You want them to obviously choose you because you're a boss ass lady, but you got to own that. And so if you aren't showing up as that coach, then, you know, realize that and you can show up as that coach. So be honest with yourself. A quote I always like to think to myself is, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Okay. So you don't attract hardworking women just because you want them. You attract hardworking women and hustlers and high achievers because that's who you've become. I can honestly say when I started coaching, I was pretty fucking lazy. I didn't do the shit that I needed to do, and therefore I didn't see the results I needed to see. And it took me getting really consistent with the vital behaviors and really honest with myself and working a lot harder to see success and start attracting better quality people into my business. So, you know, I hope that makes sense, but just always assess yourself and think about who's going to be attracted to your team. Because if you're not working to the highest level you can, you're never going to attract that person who's a go-getter and is really going to crush it. And then next one, I have a video for you guys. So this is that I actually, let me see if I can pull this up. Just recorded on my phone. I was so proud of myself for learning how to do this. Oops, it's playing. Hold on. So I know Carly and I have covered this before, but I kind of look at Carly's team and my team and your guys' Instagrams, and I kind of think, like, what are we struggling with? And when I look at Instagrams for the entire teams, I think the main thing you guys struggle with, and I know I definitely am not trying to preach because this is still a struggle for me, but it's something I've learned recently, so I just wanted to pay it forward because it's helping me. And one of the things I realized was that we are great about posting coaching breadcrumbs. I mean, we can post coaching breadcrumbs, quote unquote, all day long. So we can post like, hey, I love working from anywhere. Hey, I love working from the coffee shop. Ooh, I'm hopping on a team call. But we don't ever talk about the shit that is actually going to get women to sign up with you. So I wanted to create something to show you guys what I mean and give you actual tangible examples. And then I have an action item when we're done. So let me pull up. Okay, can you guys see my screen, Carly? Can you hear it, Carly?
Instagram collections.
Okay.
Some examples.
So I used my Instagram collections, which by the way, I have another training I'll share with you guys, not tonight, but I can share with Carly on how I use my Instagram collections to help me recruit coaches. But right now I'm going to show you how to do it this.
Let me find them. Okay, under examples. Examples of ways that you can share your story via coaching breadcrumbs without being surface level. Okay, so there's a big difference between, and I'm going to give you examples, but there's a big difference between being like, coaching is so fun, I get to work from everywhere, or, you know, I love this, I just connected on a team call with my girls. First of all, nobody necessarily cares that you get to work from everywhere, like good for you sort of thing. And also they don't know what a team call is. So when you say that you just got to, you know, on a team call, they're like, okay, cool. So I think a lot has changed with Instagram, and those kinds of things used to work. Don't get me wrong. I actually pulled all examples from myself because they used to work, but the tides have changed as they do with social media. And there is a big difference now between coaching breadcrumbs and the highlight reel and the surface level stuff and actually going deep with your story. And if you don't go deep with your coaching story, you are going to struggle to bring on quality coaches or any coaches at all. At least that's the experience I've been having. And I've been studying a lot of the top coaches. And that is what I've been learning, is that the ones who are really, really good at recruiting, they are extremely good at sharing stories. Okay. They don't just share the highlight reel or just little snippets. So I pulled examples from old posts of mine to show you kind of what I'm saying here and what I mean. So here's an example, like whatever, decent pic. This is an old photo. I would not post that now. But regardless, you know, this is a very surface level coaching breadcrumb. I talk about how every Wednesday I get to have afternoon coffee chat with my team. It makes me so happy. You become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. You know, and then that's pretty much it. I just talk about spending time with my team. Super surface level. I don't know that nowadays, in the way that social media has switched, would inspire anybody to join my team, okay? Another one, again, just, you know, a photo. And I talk about how they say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I guess that's true. And then I talk about how I welcome somebody new to our team, and I talk to them about their goals and their vision for coaching, and I talk about how helping women to learn to be brave and shine their light in the world is a really awesome gig. And although that's cool, that is not a story. That is not going to inspire somebody to join me, and again, very surface level. So I would not post that now. Things have changed. That kind of post does not work. And last example, it's just a quote. It's the cutest picture, and then I put a quote. No, not going to work, guys. The tides have changed. I'm not saying you can never use quotes. Don't get me wrong. I think they do work for some people, but you have to know your brand. They don't work for me. And I just try to not post short quotes anymore because people want your story. So examples of stories of what I'm saying when I mean dive deep and talk about your coaching story to attract your tribe. So this is one I posted just like 3 days ago. And this picture, this post, did really well. I actually had quite a few girls reach out to me who had previously told me no about coaching and say, oh my God, I just saw your post. That really resonated with me. A couple of them joined my sneak peek. Like, I know that this post did well because I actually had conversations with people about it and them saying that it really resonated. So basically what I talked about is my story. I talked about how when I first started coaching, I would always downplay it and I would never tell anybody about it. I was honestly kind of embarrassed of it because I cared what people thought. And even though deep down I loved it and I knew that I wanted to make a business, I was so afraid to just put myself out there and be like, hey, this is my business, this is what I'm doing, that I didn't, and I downplayed it. And I talked about how sad that is. And I also talked about how, some of the perks of my business, but I ended it with, moral of the story, don't settle for a life that makes other people happy, create a life that makes you happy, and never apologize for that. And so, I had a lot of people who joined my group after that because they were like, oh my God, you're right. I'm just not, I'm not putting myself out there because I'm so afraid of what people think. Another example of a really awesome coaching story is from one of my favorites, who I'm obsessed with, Ashley Laughlin. And she has an awesome eye-catching photo, great filter. And she talks about how, A Life Before Coaching. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically it's a story. She shares her story. She talks about how she was a teacher and she used to, you know, if she ever had a business trip, she'd come home Sunday night exhausted, have to wake up Monday and go to school being disgusting and gross and tired, and she didn't get a break, and it was hard as a mom working full time to do anything like that and not just, you know, fall apart. And so now she gets to be home with her kiddo, and when she comes back from traveling, it's not stressful. Another example is from Jess Dukes, who's in one of our sideline teams. And she talks about, I love this one. So first of all, amazing eye-catching photo, great filter. So that's going to be a trend you see with these posts. She talks about where she was when she started coaching and how she felt like she was stuck in this gerbil wheel of life of just wake up, shower, commute, work, commute home, you know, eat dinner, go to bed. And then she also talks about the things she was struggling with financially and where she is now. Guys, that's a story. That is so much better than her just being like, woke up today and my life's awesome, I'm a coach. You know what I mean? Another really good example, I think I only have two more. A good photo, Kelsey Shackley, again, obsessed with her. And she talks about her husband and her and how he didn't really want her to do this. He thought it was a pyramid scheme. He thought it was a joke. And then she talks about how she was successful with it and he came around. And then she talks about her internship. So again, she shares her story. Last one, this is another one of mine that I just recently posted that did really well. And I was just like, oh, I need something to post. I couldn't think of anything to post. I pulled this picture up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go deep with this. They need to hear my story. And I talked about how I never thought I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That was never my goal. I always wanted to work. And I talk about how, you know, I started school or I started working and it just wasn't what I thought it would be. My career was not what I thought it would be. I thought I would love it and I didn't. And that's hard to admit. And it was hard to put this out there, guys, but I have to share my truth. And I also talked about how I am excited for stay-at-home mom life because I also get to run a business. I don't have to only be a mom, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I get to also be a CEO. And I'm just very blunt about that. And you know, that's going to help me attract my person. This is specifically talking to my person. Not everybody's going to relate to this. Not everybody is going to want to even be a mom or has kids or in that phase of their life. You know what I mean? But somebody who is ready to have kids or does want that is going to be attracted to that post. So those are the examples I wanted to share with you guys. I think that's it.
Okay, I hope that was helpful. Was it helpful to see actual like examples? I'm very example driven. I need those kinds of things. So I hope that kind of, you know, gave you guys, oops, sorry, started playing another thing. Gave you guys some things to work with. So your action item for that tip, which was tip number 4, is, you know, my coaches have what I call a pain web, which I can share in the team page if you want. But basically, I want you to like take out a piece of paper. You've probably done this with me before. And in the middle, I want you to write the word coaching. And outside, I want you to draw little lines and write all the reasons you became a coach. Because within those reasons, you're going to find about 1 billion stories that you can share. It's not like you share your whole coaching story at once, guys, because that would be way too long. It's like these little breadcrumbs, these little snippets. Does that make sense? So I want you to create that if you haven't already and share tomorrow, take action tomorrow and share a piece of your coaching story. Maybe another piece of your coaching story. I shared this one like 2 weeks ago about how when I started coaching, nobody supported me. Everybody was an asshole to me about it. I'm not saying that to play the victim. I don't care. But I think a lot of people come into this and be like, well, my husband doesn't support me. My friends tell me it's dumb, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, I had that too. You have to get over it. You know what I mean? So that was a part of my story. So I want you tomorrow to do that. Share a coaching piece of your coaching story, not just a breadcrumb saying, you know, woohoo, it's Monday, I'm setting goals for the week. Like, you know, go deep with it. And then last tip, again, actionable. So this is about sneak peeks. So tip number 5 is to keep your sneak peeks 2 things, okay? I think we overcomplicate sneak peeks. There's probably 50,000 videos on YouTube about how to run a Beachbody coaching sneak peek, and everybody says, this is the way to run it, and you're going to do amazing with this way. And Carly runs hers totally different than mine, and she has success with it that way too. So I don't think there's any perfect way to run a sneak peek, but there is 2 things you must do in every sneak peek. 1, you have got to bring the energy. If you go in there and you are not excited and you are freaking boring, ain't nobody going to join your team, guys, okay? I don't care if you have to drink crack juice. I don't care if you have to double up on tequila shots. You get in there and you freaking be a badass bitch, okay? Like what I do is I drink Energize, or honestly, I kind of like, I'm the opposite, where I'm naturally pretty good at being energetic. So I will actually like meditate so that I can get in this space where I feel like super relaxed and confident. So I'll meditate, I say my affirmations, go for a walk, do what you got to do, but you got to go in that group and be confident, because they're going to want to join a coach who's confident. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is you have to create a sense of urgency. You have to, and this is where so many coaches struggle. They'll be like, oh, well, I do my sneak peek on Sunday, and I give them till, really whenever to sign up. Or I say, you have until Friday. No, you have to create that urgency. That is something that can be created, but it can only be created by you. And I think the reason a lot of people don't create urgency is because underlying that is this belief they have of lack. And the belief is that I won't get people to sign up if I set a deadline. Like, I won't be able to get those coaches if I tell them they only have 2 days. But that's actually not true. That's just a limiting belief you have. Instead of having an abundant mindset, that's like having a lack mindset and thinking there aren't enough people. And honestly, guys, you just have to know that if they're meant to be in your tribe, they will be cool with the 2-day deadline, okay? Or however urgent you make it. So for me, I've been doing my sneak peeks every single weekend. So I did one today. So I said, you have until Tuesday night, like, period. I'm drawing a line. If you don't join by Tuesday night, you're gonna have to wait till the next time, I am enrolling coaches. I'm stuttering. Because they're either in or they're out at that point, and you don't have to look at it as, okay, well, they didn't sign up by Tuesday night. I'm a failure. This is such a disappointment. It's the fortunes in the follow-up. I get 75% of my coaches because they were in multiple sneak peeks with me. So you have to be patient. And I ran a sneak peek last month that had crap ton of girls in it. I thought it was really good. And not a single one of them signed up. And I could have been really butthurt about it and felt sorry for myself. But I was like, no, this is the way the business goes. Sometimes nobody signs up. It's okay, because they just are not right now. Like, I know they're going to come around. Most of my coaches who kill it in this business told me no for 6 or 7 months. And that's the truth. And I'm sure that's the same for Carly. So there's that. And then other times I run a sneak peek and it's like, boom, 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 boom. I have 7 girls sign up the next day. So you never know, but you can't get discouraged. You have to keep trying them. And, another thing for coaching info groups, whether you run them like Carly does within your challenge group, or you run them separately like I do, yeah, all the time. I lost my train of thought. Whether they sign up, however you run them, regardless, you have to practice running them, and you have to run them consistently. It's not, I've had a lot of coaches be like, well, I ran a sneak peek, or I ran 2 sneak peeks, or I ran 3 sneak peeks, and they don't work for me. I ran, literally, you guys, nobody believes me when I tell them this. I ran 10 coach sneak peeks when I was a new coach before I recruited anybody. 10. I had people in them. I was doing all the right things, but nobody was signing up. And on that 10th sneak peek, I signed 3 coaches. And that's nothing crazy, but all 3 of them wanted to be business builders. All 3 of them were cold market. And all 3 of them boosted my belief through the freaking roof. Because I went from being like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do this, to all of a sudden I had these 3 girls who were like, sign me up, sign me up, sign me up. And it was a huge confidence booster. But I had to go through failing miserably over and over and over again to get good at it. Okay. So you have to be okay with failing and not letting yourself think that something's wrong with you. Sometimes it just takes practice. So that was my last tip there, is create the fear of missing out in your sneak peek by creating urgency, and then also go in with energy. So I think that's it for my part. And then don't forget, I hope you wrote down your homework, okay, which is to create your avatar if you haven't done that, and post your coaching story, a piece of your coaching story tomorrow. I don't even like calling it breadcrumbs anymore, because breadcrumbs seem small, and a story is the whole piece of bread. Mic drop.
Yeah, now I want bread.
Go, Carly.
Whatever. Okay, I feel like I have nothing to say now. Those are super good. So basically I labeled my 5 tips to simplify, save time, and just focus on growth, which is really what you need. in order to be successful, right? Like focusing on these things, especially in this season where obviously we have a million and one things going on. It's a busy time of the year, la, da, da, da. Yeah, obviously both Cassie and I are very busy. We still make it work. So the first thing that I would say, and Cassie touched on this a little bit, is be critical with yourself and what you're sharing on your platform. So ask yourself, like when you were following me or when you were following Cassie, what made you take action? Now, this is me basically giving you guys permission. Like if you don't, like if you weren't attracted to a coach that was hosting sneak peeks, then don't host sneak peeks and host something else. Like if you were really attracted to me because of fitness, maybe you host a sneak peek into my fitness routine group, you know? Were you attracted to my lifestyle and what I was sharing about how, you know, I could work, you know, at a coffee shop, or I could work on the road, or, you know, I got to work from a Wi-Fi signal? Like what about what I was sharing on my Instagram before you became a coach attracted you? And then ask yourself, am I sharing those things? And like, you wonder why somebody isn't joining, or you wondering why you're not recruiting coaches, and you're probably posting not like me at all, except for the exact reason you joined was because of how I posted and how I authentically shared and what I shared on my platform every single day. So again, like Cassie's saying, you're doing all that surface level stuff. Like I don't post very surface level shit, guys. So if you were attracted to my authenticity, if you were attracted to maybe the yoga stuff, and if you're a yoga teacher, then you need to share more about the yoga stuff. You know what I mean? So don't expect to be able to share something completely different than what I'm sharing and recruit the same types of people that I am, right? Like, so ask yourself, you know, what was I sharing on my platform that spoke to you? Go back to your Instagram and say, okay, am I even posting anything that she posted that like encouraged me to take action? So be critical with yourself and what you're sharing on your platform. That's tip number one. Tip number two from that is, are you sticking to your 5 brands? Now, I know this is going to speak to a lot of new coaches, older coaches. You're going to be like, good God, are you actually talking about this? But it's so true, you guys. Do an Instagram check. Be critical of your social media, you guys. It is our storefront. When I see somebody just throwing out sweaty selfie after sweaty selfie after sweaty selfie, or if I see somebody who's not talking about their workouts or their workout programs for like 5 days straight, I literally want to message you and say you're shooting yourself in the foot. Okay? Like if you're not sharing about your workouts every day, why would anybody be interested in joining you and working out with you every day? Like that makes no sense. If you're trying to find somebody who's going to build to diamond and be a business builder and work with business alongside you, yet you don't take your Instagram very seriously, you don't talk about how you're a CEO, you don't talk about how you're building a business and your goals for coaching, whether it's part-time or full-time, or you want to make $100 a week or $10,000 a week, why would you assume somebody would want to jump onto your team and be ready to work if you don't share about working, if you don't share about the sacrifices that you make, right? So what are your 5 brands? That has to be more than just health, fitness, and coaching. There have to be other layers. For me, I always talk about the Pacific Northwest. I always talk about my Pomeranians, because now I'm a fur mom. I talk about my, like I'm engaged, so my fiance lifestyle, like being planning a wedding. That's a huge thing that I talk about. And even when I don't feel like it, I know what my 5 brands are, and I go back on my Instagram and I go, wow, you haven't talked about the fact that you're planning a wedding. Whether you want to or not, you are going to be making a post tomorrow about the fact that you're planning a wedding, because that is one of your 5 brands. I don't really care if you feel like it, you guys. It's your 5 brands and you need to focus on them. And you can't just go floating through your coaching life expecting to be successful if you're just posting a sweaty selfie every day. Or if you're not even showing up on your Instagram every day. It's literally your marketing platform. So are you sticking to your 5 brands? Are you being critical with that consistent Instagram check on sharing other things? What other things are cool about you, right? It has to be more than just fitness. There's other things that are cool about you. Number 3, find a preset. I'm not going to hold your hand and take you over to YouTube and show you what YouTube video to watch, but if you guys struggle with editing photos, if you can look at your Instagram critically and say, wow, my editing sucks, if your pictures are dark, if they're grainy, if they're blurry, if they're not cohesive and they don't look good next to each other, you need to go invest in a preset. I would love if anybody on this call right now has invested in a preset, if they're willing to share what a preset has done or how it has helped you, because a preset will make your platform look so much more professional. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with a preset, Google it. Again, I'm not going to hold your hand and go show you how to get a preset. We are all business owners and we can figure it out. But get a preset that makes your page look professional. There are so many successful coaches. And I would say, 90% of them use presets. I use presets on mine. They're very, very light, but I have preset, filters and things that I've saved within ViscoCam that I lay onto my pictures every single time, so they're consistent and they always look, somewhat the same. So find a preset. Another part of this tip, so this is a part of tip 3, is get professional photos done. You're running a business and businesses have professional photos. If you walked into a yoga studio and there was some grainy ass picture up on the wall telling you to invest $140, you would probably look at that and be like, you suck. I'm going to go find a studio that takes themselves seriously, right? So get professional photos done. Share photos that make you look like a CEO of your business. It can be you and your computer at home and a friend with a professional camera that takes some of you, working on your computer, maybe doing a yoga pose if you're into yoga. Maybe it's outside hiking if you're super into hiking. I think it was one of Vic's coaches, Laura, I think the nurse or something, and she posted something in the woods, and it was a professional photo of her hiking in the woods. It was so eye-catching and so beautiful. I'm like, I don't even think I follow you, but it showed up on my Explore page, and I was like, wow, she clearly takes this seriously. She looks beautiful. The background looks beautiful. Not all of your photos obviously have to be professional photos, but there should be a consistent amount. If you go to my Instagram, there are professional photos sprinkled in there because people take people with professional photos seriously. Another part of this is no words on your pictures or text pictures on Instagram. You can take this and argue with me all you want and say, well, my pictures, the text work really well. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do not post a quote on Instagram as a picture with text. Do not overlay words onto a picture on Instagram. It looks so unprofessional. It's literally like nails on a chalkboard for me. If you're going to grab a post or a quote from Pinterest and you're going to share that picture of a quote as your picture on Instagram, take the words that are on that quote that you love so much, put that in the caption, and then put a professional photo of yourself. So it's you branding yourself. It's not you just throwing up random words. If someone wanted to see a quoted black background, words on as a picture on Instagram, they just go to Pinterest. They're not following you as a Pinterest board. They're following you in your life and they want to see what you're doing. So if anybody's just done this, I'm not hating on you. I'm just saying, take yourself a little more seriously. Personally, what works for me is not doing that. And then obviously, be critical of yourself. If your following isn't growing, if you're struggling with consistent editing or you don't enjoy editing, find something that works for you. Find a preset, get professional photos. Ask yourself, would someone who randomly came across your page know that you guys are a CEO? You can't expect to grow a business and go part-time in your job or go full-time with coaching if you're not taking this platform that you own seriously, right? So those 3 tips: find a preset, get professional photos done, and no words or pictures or text pictures on Instagram at all ever are super good ones to help you. And then the last one is track your following. Again, be critical of yourself. Track your numbers, so track that increase, right? You should have an increase of people every single month because that's your market, that's your customer base growing, right? And then last thing is track your income. So my monthly income tracker is very simple. I'm actually going to share it with you guys, and you're going to be able to see my income. So #sweating. But it's really helpful because every single month, obviously, our weeks change as we're a coach, or some weeks I'll get paid way more than the end of the month. Always I get paid a little bit less. But if you track things monthly, you'll be able to see that progression and you'll probably be able to give yourself a little bit more credit. So when I first started, obviously month 1, February, I signed up, did the 21-day fix. So I didn't really start coaching actually until April. So this is my first month. I made $440. Month 12, I made $1,300. Month 24, I made $4,900. So that was just last February. And then May of this last year, $7,100 in that month. So if you just do total monthly progression, you guys don't need to go out and buy a finance tracker. I literally just have the month. I have my business center, right? So my earnings. And then if you have a significant other signed up and you're building them to diamond or they're accruing income, make sure that you count that as well. And then you'll add all of that up at the end of the month so you can continue to track it. Maybe December is the first month that you really start tracking this and see this grow. Once you have a second CBO CVC open, that's really when your income's going to double. It took me about 2 years to get my second CVC open. And then that will again start accruing income as well. But these total monthly progressions, it's so simple, you guys, but it gives you the permission to see this as an actual business, so that you can be like, okay, like this is where I started, this is it naturally increasing, and you don't have to divide it out into a million different things. Hey, Kev, can you take care of the dogs? And then you can see it like slowly progressing over time. So a super simple Excel sheet, but again, like this is a business, you have to track your numbers. And then the other thing that I would recommend doing, I need to go, okay, I'm gonna share my screen one more time. So track your income, obviously, and then you can also track your business. So if you go to trainings in your back office, it's just this tab up here, and you go to training library, click all the training materials. And what I would recommend is, oh, it's gonna sign me out. Do I have it downloaded? The business activity tracker, that's what I was gonna show you guys. Let's see if I can find it. Again, tracking is key, especially in a month of December where it's just crazy busy and we're on vacation and we're doing all of those things. Just make sure that you have these things so you can track and monitor your business. Let's see. Business tracking training. So business tracking training, and then the business activity tracker is right here. And it's so easy. It's for the whole week. You just print one of these out each week. So maybe you just print 4 of these out for the month, 3 of these out for the month. And it's literally the simplest thing. It puts everything into here. It puts your goals there, number of new contacts, the things that you should be doing every single day. It includes your workouts and your 20 minutes of personal development. It reminds you of the 4 vital behaviors right here. So again, track, keep things simple. Maybe even if you haven't used a tracker, or you used to use a tracker and you're like, oh my gosh, do I really want to track? Maybe just for, you know, these next couple months, track with something like that. It really helps me to simplify and focus. And again, it's duplicatable to your downline. It's not something that's overly complicated. You show them it, you say, hey, this is what I use. This is what you should use as well. So tracking your income and also tracking your business activity tracker. Yeah, you can't improve upon what you don't track. That is all that I got. Sorry this call went so long, guys. Does anybody have any questions? Did anybody talk about their preset and how it helped them? Oh yeah, like before and after weight gain, yeah, you could definitely do, I do like, you know, my before weight and my after weight, like that's totally fine on top of pictures. I'm more just saying like, you know, those quotes that you'd find on Pinterest, like do not download one of those and upload it to Instagram. Like people can go to Pinterest if they want to go see a quote. See, anybody else? Anybody have questions? No, you're like, okay. How do I go about inviting my discount coaches to the biz? I find myself not finding the right words. Lead by example and show them what you do. And if they're interested, great. And if not, also great, right? Like I'm sure my team is like composed of like 85 to 90% discount coaches. I would, you know, say, you know, whenever you're ready, here's the 14-day new coach prep course. You can dive into it whenever you want. And if they want to dive into it, great. And if they don't, also great. And yeah, inviting them to a sneak peek. I always invite all my challengers at the end of the month to a sneak peek. Yeah, and running the challenge groups with them is super fun too. Any other questions? You guys are gonna go rock the month of December. I can't believe it's December, holy crap. All right, Cassie, you have anything else to say?
Somebody had a question. Cassie, how do you not go for the low fruit when you're still starting up and there aren't many people to choose from? So that's a little different. When you first start coaching, it's not like you need to just go for anybody and everybody. But when you're first trying to build your diamond, you know, it might not be your end all be all tribe. Like my team that got me to diamond is not, most of them aren't here now. Same thing for Carly. They're probably not going to be the people that are going to be with you, you know, 3 years from now or traveling with you to Summit. And that's okay. When you first start coaching, guys, it takes a while to find your tribe. And I'm going to be completely vulnerable with you guys. I would say it was the beginning of this year. I messaged Janie, my upline, who's also Carly's. And I was like, I cannot find my tribe. Like, I cannot find my people. I kept having these people that would come and go, or even if they were killing it, they just like, we didn't mesh. I had a couple, no, one in particular, one just straight crazy coach on my team, which if you haven't had one yet, you probably will after a couple of years. And she was like, it takes a long time. It takes a long, long time. She was like, it took me a really long time to find my tribe, but I promise they're coming. And I was like, okay, I'll trust in her. And now I do feel like, you know, I've been doing this over 2.5 years now. It'll be 3 years in February, which is insane. And I'm like, I finally feel like these are my people. Like, these are my freaking homies. But it takes a while. So you do have to at first kind of sort through those people. And especially when you're first trying to build a diamond, you're going to have a lot of discount coaches. You're going to have a lot of people who might not necessarily be there in the long run. That's okay. It's just, when I say don't go for low-hanging fruit, what I mean by that is, I guess, believe in yourself enough to know that you can attract your people. Like, I had this belief that I couldn't attract the women I wanted. I don't know if that makes sense. I had this belief that I could only attract what I could get versus attracting what I want. And now, because I've changed that belief, I'm attracting women who are more like me, you know, who are already professionally successful, and they just might not be super fulfilled, or they're already super type A, incredibly driven women like I am. I'm very type A, very internally driven. And so, you know, that's what I'm attracting more and more, because I don't have that limiting belief. I don't know if that makes sense.
And I think you have to be really honest with yourself. Like, when you first start out as a coach, I'm not sure the smartest thing would be lead with the business opportunity, because you're probably making $0, right? Like, you probably just got out of like an amazing transformation, an awesome results from a challenge group, an amazing fitness program, and capitalize on what you're so excited about. You know, like, if I was a new coach and had those amazing, you know, transformations from 21 Day Fix, and I asked people to start a business with me, they'd be like, yeah, no, like, you're an idiot. And I know you're not making any money, right? Versus like, I just went out and I was like, guys, I didn't think that this fitness program was going to work. My results are freaking amazing. And like, Alyssa, your results are freaking amazing. I've seen your transformation. But like, you know, lead with whatever you're passionate about at that moment. In this moment and season of my life, yes, I'm passionate about the fitness, but I'm also passionate about the business, because I'm making a shit ton of money and I'm passionate about that. And I want to help other girls get to where I am. Back when you're making, you know, $100 a month, maybe you don't lead with the business, right? Maybe you lead with what's really changing your life in that moment in time. And guess what? All of my best coaches have not come from the business opportunity. They have come because they've gotten amazing results, and from there they wanted to pay it forward, and then they fell in love with the coaching process along the way.
But but I'm going to add to that, don't wait for either. Don't be like, well, I've been coaching 3 months, I'm still new. No, after 3 months, you need to be talking about the business. Because I'm the opposite. I actually came into this for the business, and my best coaches, a lot of them come in for the business. So with everything we say, there's obviously going to be the yin and yang, like, take it with a grain of salt, because that, you know what I mean? So I do encourage my girls to freaking own that shit. Like, if you join because of the business, like I did, talk about it. If you join because of fitness, like Carly did, and you wanted to get amazing results, and then she did, talk about it. Does that make sense? Top resources for discovering your brand's tribe self. That's a good one. Carly?
I would say there's actually a really good national wake-up call. If you want to go back into the archives, it's probably from like 2016. It's a call from Amy Silverman, and she talks about how, like, a lot of coaches struggle because a lot of coaches talk about the same things over and over again. And then like coaching just becomes this thing where everybody's just talking about the same thing. And she's like, you guys need to go out and like have other things that you're passionate about, and that will grow your brand, that will grow your market. So figuring out like different things that you can get into that like you're passionate about, and like capitalize on those, you know, whether it is your corporate job and you're passionate about what you do, or maybe it's like, you know, your dog, or, you know, for me, it's yoga. It's like, you guys need to go out and have like these other things that you're really interested in, and that will help grow like your coaching business too. So figuring out like what you're passionate about, meaning like what you're passionate about like in life. Like, even when one of your brands doesn't have to be something extravagant, one of your brands could be like your 9-to-5 job, because you spend 40 hours a week there. Like, that should be a huge part of your brand. Like, if you're trying to not post about your corporate job that you spend 40 hours a week at, like, it needs to be a huge, huge part of like who you are and who you attract, because I mean, that's your life, right? So it doesn't have your brands don't have to be anything like crazy, but there is a really good national wake-up call about it if you want to search.
That's a good question though. I feel like that just takes time to figure out.
I think the beautiful part of this is that everyone needs health and fitness, so anyone can benefit from this opportunity. Yeah, so attract who you are outside of fitness. Yeah. Yeah, capitalizing on everything outside of it. Oh, a tribe called Bliss. That's a good one that Laura recommends for branding. Thanks. I haven't read that. Any other questions? Thanks so much for hanging out with us, guys. I'll see you on the miracle morning tomorrow. So what in a way? All right. Bye, guys.